You've probably felt it by now. That undeniable sense of not fitting in, of being different, even when you're surrounded by people. It's not an ego thing. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's just that feeling deep inside you that you're on a different frequency, a different wavelength, and it can be frustrating. You try to explain yourself, try to connect, try to fit in, but something always feels off, doesn't it? You feel drained, misunderstood, maybe even a little bit lost, like you're constantly pushing against something invisible, something that's holding you back. It's not because there's something wrong with you. In fact, it's because there's something right about you. You're a chosen one. And that's not just some phrase to throw around lightly, it's a truth that runs deeper than you realize. But here's the thing, chosen ones can't be around just anyone. You can't force yourself to fit into spaces, relationships, or environments that aren't aligned with your purpose. And maybe you've already learned that the hard way. You see, when you're a chosen one, when you're walking a path that's meant for you and only you, the universe starts to separate you from the things and yes, even the people that aren't meant for you. It's harsh, I know. Sometimes it feels like a form of rejection, like you're being isolated for no reason. But the truth is, it's protection. The universe is protecting your energy, your purpose, your light. It's making sure that the people who are around you are the ones who need to be there, the ones who are aligned with your journey.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Now think about it, how many times have you tried to keep certain people in your life, even when you knew deep down that they were draining you? How many times have you changed yourself, dimmed your light, just to make someone else feel comfortable in your presence? And how did that feel? Exhausting, right? It's like you're constantly giving away pieces of yourself, and in return, you're left feeling empty, depleted, like no one truly understands who you are or what you're going through. Here's the truth, you can't be around everyone because not everyone is meant to be around you. As a chosen one, your energy is different. It's more intense, more magnetic, but also more sensitive. You pick up on things that others don't. You sense the hidden emotions, the unspoken words. You feel the energy of a room the moment you walk into it. And while that's a gift, it also means that you're more vulnerable to the energies of others. That's why you can't just casually mix with everyone. Their energy affects you whether you like it or not. It's not something you can ignore. Let me ask you something. How many times have you walked away from a conversation or a gathering feeling completely drained, even though nothing bad happened? That's because energy is real. And when you're a chosen one, your energy is like a beacon. It attracts people, sometimes the right people, but also sometimes the wrong ones. People who are drawn to your light not because they want to uplift you, but because they want to take from you. They don't even realize they're doing it. They'll pull at your energy without saying a word, and before you know it, you're left feeling like you've given away a part of yourself. And here's the kicker. Those people aren't bad people. They might even love you in their own way, but they're not meant to be in your space. They're not meant to be close to you because their energy doesn't align with yours. And that's not their fault, but it's also not something you can ignore. You've tried, haven't you? And you've tried to make it work. You've tried to stay connected, to keep those relationships alive, but it always comes at a cost. You end up sacrificing too much of yourself. And for what? Here's what you need to understand. Not everyone can handle your energy, and that's okay. This is where most chosen ones struggle. We want to be liked, to be understood, to connect with others on a deep level. But the truth is, not everyone is capable of meeting us at that depth. That doesn't mean they're bad people, it just means they're not ready. And if they're not ready, you can't force them to be. You can't dim your light just to make them feel more comfortable in your presence. So what do? How do you navigate this path where you can't be around everyone, but you also don't want to isolate yourself completely? The first thing you need to realize is that it's not about cutting everyone off. It's not about living in isolation or avoiding relationships altogether. It's about discernment. It's about understanding who is meant to be in your inner circle and who is not. It's about trusting your intuition when it tells you that someone's energy isn't aligned with yours, and not feeling guilty about walking away. Let me ask you, how many times have you ignored your intuition only to regret it later? You see, your intuition is your greatest guide. It's the universe speaking to you, telling you who is meant to be in your life and who isn't. But you have to listen. You have to trust that feeling, even when it doesn't make logical sense. Because here's the thing, energy doesn't lie. People can say all the right things, they can play all the right roles, but their energy will always tell the truth. And as a chosen one, you can feel the truth, even if you can't always explain it. You've noticed it, haven't you? That shift in energy when you walk into a room. It's not something you can fully explain, but you feel it. It's like the air changes, the mood shifts, and suddenly all eyes are on you. Sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's overwhelming, but it's always there. And at first you might have thought it was just your imagination, but now you realize it's real. Your energy is different. It's powerful, it's intense, and not everyone knows how to deal with it. This is something that every chosen one experiences. Your energy isn't just another vibration in the crowd, it's distinct. It stands out. And because of that, people react to you in ways you might not expect. Some people are drawn to you almost magnetically, while others are intimidated or even repelled. And here's the thing, it's not about you personally, it's about the energy you carry. You see, when you're a chosen one, your energy isn't just your own. It's connected to something greater, something universal, something divine. It carries a frequency that's higher than the average person's, and that's why people react to you the way they do. They feel it, even if they don't understand it, and for some, that energy is inspiring. It lifts them up, makes them feel alive, makes them want to be better. But for others, it's too much. It makes them uncomfortable, insecure, even threatened. Let me ask you something. How many times have you walked into a room and immediately felt like the energy shifted, like people either gravitated toward you or away from you without even knowing why? That's the power of your energy, and it's not something you can control, at least not in the way you might think. You can't dim it, and you can't change it to make others feel more comfortable. Believe me, you've probably tried. You've probably gone out of your way to make yourself less noticeable, to shrink yourself down, to blend in with the crowd. But it never works, does it? Because the truth is, you can't blend in. You weren't meant to. As a chosen one, your energy will always stand out. It will always make an impact, whether you like it or not. And that's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to embrace. But here's the thing, not everyone is ready for that energy. Not everyone can handle it, and that's why you can't be around everyone. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about understanding that your energy is precious and it needs to be protected. When you surround yourself with people who aren't aligned with your energy, you feel it. You feel drained, off balance, like you're constantly fighting against something. And that's because you are. You're fighting against the mismatch in energy, the disconnect between your vibration and theirs. So what do? How do you protect your energy without isolating yourself completely? The answer is simple, but not always easy. You have to be selective. You have to be intentional about who you allow into your space, who you share your energy with. You have to trust your intuition when it tells you that someone's energy isn't right for you, even if it doesn't make logical sense. And more importantly, you have to stop feeling guilty about it. You have to stop trying to make everyone comfortable, stop trying to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. Here's something that's hard for a lot of chosen ones to accept. You have to let go of people. You have to let go of situations, environments, and energy that no longer serve you. And I know that sounds harsh. It sounds like you're being asked to walk away from people you care about, or from situations that once brought you comfort. But here's the truth. Holding on to those things is holding you back. You can't be around everyone because not everyone is aligned with your purpose. Not everyone is meant to walk this path with you. And that's okay. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It simply means that your journey is different. You're being called to something higher, something deeper, and not everyone can come with you. Let me ask you, how many times have you held on to someone or something, even though you knew deep down it wasn't right for you? We've all done it. We've all tried to force relationships, friendships, even jobs to work when we knew in our hearts that they weren't aligned with our true selves. But here's the thing, the longer you hold on, the more you're delaying your own growth, the more you're keeping yourself from stepping into the fullness of who you're meant to be. As a chosen one, you don't have the luxury of wasting your energy on things that aren't meant for you. Your energy is too important, too powerful, to be diluted by people or situations that don't align with your purpose. And the moment you start to recognize this, the moment you start to trust your intuition and let go of what isn't serving you, everything changes. You start to feel lighter, more free, more aligned with your true self. You start to attract the right people, the right opportunities, the right experiences. And that's because you've made space for them. By letting go of what doesn't serve you, you create space for what does. But here's the hard part. Letting go isn't easy. It requires trust. It requires faith. It requires you to believe that the universe has something better in store for you, even if you don't see it yet. And that's where most people get stuck. They hold on because they're afraid of what might happen if they let go. They hold on because they don't trust that something better is coming. So, let me ask you, are you ready to let go of what's holding you back? Because here's the truth, the longer you hold on, the longer you're delaying your own growth, the longer you're keeping yourself from stepping into your true power, your true purpose. And as a chosen one, that's not something you can afford to do. Here's what you need to understand. As a chosen one, there will be times when you have to walk alone. There will be moments when you feel isolated, misunderstood, even lonely. But here's the truth, you're never truly alone. The universe is always with you, always guiding you, always protecting you. And those feelings of isolation, they're not a punishment. They're a sign that you're being prepared for something greater. You can't be around everyone because not everyone is meant to walk this path with you. And that's okay. The people who are meant to be in your life, the ones who are aligned with your energy and your purpose, will find their way to you. But in the meantime, you have to be willing to walk alone. You have to be willing to trust that the universe knows what it's doing, even when it feels like you're walking in the dark. Let me ask you, how many times have you felt alone, only to later realize that you were being prepared for something greater? That's the thing about being chosen. It's not an easy path. It's not for the faint of heart. But it's also not a path you walk alone. The universe is always with you, guiding you, protecting you, even when you can't see it. And the more you trust that, the more you lean into that, the more aligned your life becomes. But here's the thing, you have to stop trying to fit into spaces that aren't meant for you. You have to stop trying to make everyone comfortable with your energy. You have to stop dimming your light just to fit in. You weren't meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to lead, to inspire, to uplift. And not everyone will understand that. Not everyone will be able to handle your energy. And that's okay. The people who are meant to be in your life will find their way to you. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust that by letting go of what isn't serving you, you're making space for what is. So, let me ask you one final question. Are you ready to embrace your true path, even if it means walking alone for a while? Because here's the truth. The path of the chosen one is never easy, but it's always worth it. The universe has something incredible in store for you, but you have to be willing to let go of what's holding you back. You have to be willing to trust that the people, the opportunities, the experiences that are meant for you will find their way to you. And more importantly, you have to be willing to trust yourself. Stop trying to fit in. Stop trying to be around everyone. You're a chosen one, and that means your path is different. Embrace it, trust it, and watch as everything begins to align